Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. We might get interrupted, not a big deal. I'm going to share the theme song from my favorite cartoon when I was a kid. Stuff's gotta be, oh, maybe 60 years old. But I guess there was a movie. I've never seen the movie, but Underdog. I just love that show. He's like, there's no need to fear. Underdog is here. That's been my life story. So you might see some value in it. Maybe the movie's good. Maybe I'll watch it. I'm not big on cartoons. Like I know there's a lot of adult cartoons, but yeah, they're not for me. I'm just not. I just can't do it. I don't know why. I used to sit and watch adults watching cartoons, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's animated, and yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, some of them I would watch. Like I would watch, what's that one with the guy's last name is Hill, and he worked with petroleum um, and I don't. Simpsons, was that them? Maybe. I might, I've watched them, and I've watched episodes of South Park and that type of thing, but then it just got where some of these were like doing a lot of weird and rude things, and it's like, well, this just isn't even funny. And then being that it was animated, it was more directed at kids. And then with the Japanese anime that came on the scene, and that stuff was just, I mean, the graphics, yeah, they were wonderful. But yeah, anyway, I do have issues with it. I have issues with a lot of old cartoons too, you know. And I could probably watch Underdog cartoons that I had seen when I was a kid and totally pick them apart. But yeah, I like Bugs Bunny and Underdog. They were two of my favorites. Oh. Underdog was always saving Polly purebred. She'd be like, help, help, help. And he was like shining somebody's shoes or something, and he'd go flying off like Superman, and kind of funny. Good show though. It was just the fact that he was just a little dog, and he was like beating up all these and saving people, and so anyway, it was a good show. I got my exercises done, got water in yesterday. My muscles got a workout with packing water and helping Doug uh, undo this one coupler on these pipes. He got the pipes out of the ground, and I helped him. If I had never pounded a well before, the pipe started to slip, and he did have a clamp on it, but he should have had two. I mean, he said he should have had two, but I caught that thing. It was slipping back down into the hole after there was like so many lengths taken off it. So we're using our great big pipe wrenches, and he put a pipe on one. I had my body into this whole thing, and we're both wrenching on it, wrenching the other direction from each other. And then finally we got it into a door jamb with the big pipe, and we both were able to grab on the one pipe wrench with both our strength and be able to break that seal on that um, length of pipe, that coupler that had been stuck on there for a while. So, yeah, so the pipes are out of the ground. And this morning he went to get a couple new parts that he needed from our hardware store, but they were so busy in there being it's Saturday that he's going to have to wait. He told me he'd probably have water this afternoon, And I thought, nah, you won't. It might even probably be Monday or even Tuesday if things go wrong. Luckily, yesterday we got more rain for the rain barrels, so that wasn't a big deal like that. So my hair hasn't been suffering, which is a big deal. I mean, for some people, maybe it's, hair is pretty important, but when you've had as many things happen to your hair that I have had, even being bald from allergies, or I had a beautician stick a round brush in the middle of my very long hair, right about here. It had to be cut because she ruined it out of jealousy, and I know it was. I can't prove it, but it's like I'm really careful when if I go and get my hair trimmed even, who I let even touch it because I've had people butcher it, you know. It's pretty easy. I can do it myself. Usually now I will if my youngest son isn't around to do it for me, or if Doug isn't in the mood because I've taught him how to do it. I will do it myself. It takes a little more time, but just cut it straight across. But you have to cut it at an angle, so um, you cut it at an upward angle, actually, so it's going to curl under. And with my hair being so wavy and curly anyway, it's a little difficult to do, and you can't let it dry at all. It's got to be done just do it like quick, or you're going to be cutting off more than I want cut off, that type of thing. So, yeah, I'm really careful. So, yeah, some people might think it's out of vanity. Well, that's not it. It takes a lot of work to take care of lengths of hair and thick locks. And it's not really thick. My gray hairs are thicker, but my hair is kind of fine and I have a lot of it and it's hard to take care of. And to even brush it or comb it, most people wouldn't have the arm strength it takes to take care of very long hair. That's just the way that is. So, like you see native women combing each other's hair, because when you get down to the middle of your back, if you can't reach there, you're not combing it, you know. So, so it's not out of vanity or anything like that. It's out of I'm very thankful I even have some, you know. So anyway, you're probably pretty thankful too because I'd probably be a little harder to watch if I was bald. So, mm, about, oh, it might have been, yeah, 5 years ago, my oldest granddaughter had cut her hair off like really short, just straight off like a bowl cut. And so I did the same thing. I thought it was a little comical because I was going to trim my hair anyway because what was growing out wasn't super healthy from being sick. And so I chopped it off just like hers and started growing it out. And, and then I cut it a little bit in between there. So it does grow pretty fast. So I think it grows faster now than it used to. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, it's a big deal, and hair is a big deal, and I don't care who says what, or if they think I'm being vain if I flip my hair around or if I show you or anything. It's like, no, I don't care what you think. I have nice hair because I take care of it, not you. And you don't know the work that goes into taking care of it, or some of you might, so. So, like I was saying, luckily it hasn't suffered. Not too much. A little bit. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Not a whole lot going on. I just one more time for the person that thinks it's funny to laugh at my pain. Go f yourself. That's all I can say. Maybe someday, and I do mean this. Um, if you haven't experienced this, or maybe you did, and maybe that's why you are cold like that. But hopefully someday you will be able to feel what you think is funny that I'm going through. So, or maybe, like I say, maybe that's why you are like you are. I don't know. But if that's the case, you're using your pain as an excuse to treat somebody else horrible. Well, you're psychotic. Enjoy your retarded self, regressed, whatever word we would like to supply for ill mental health. Huh. I'm me. I can't be anybody else. So, and some of you might not understand what I'm saying or talking about, and my apologies for that. I'll try and get on track here with something a little more pleasant, hopefully, or at least informational or something out of the um, uh, sadness that I feel because somebody just is cold, you know. So, yeah, anyway, it is a mixed up world. Pretty terrible. And like the rain we got last night too, it's just unreal because it just wasn't in the forecast. I don't know. So I feel like it's truly a gift from God replenishing the rain barrels where, yeah, I can boil it and it's gonna be, you know, sanitary and clean for me to wash with. Um, and we've been buying drinking water. Well, we could if we boiled it. I could filter it, and um, I do have a Brita pitcher in case like we fall on hard times. If the pump didn't pump, if I had to get water out of the creek and boil it, then I would put it through the Brita. But if it's just our well water, it's clean, so it's coming out of an artesian well, so it's very deep in the ground. Um, there's just so much water underneath right where I'm sitting. If there could be an X-ray taken of it, I can feel it. It's like an ocean. It is kind of freaky if you can feel that underneath. You can actually feel the energy coming through the water, coming through the earth, you know. Um, Freaky, not in a bad way, but, if you think about it, gee, the house could just sink into the water and we'd be gone. That might not be a bad thing, you know. I don't think I'd come out in the land of Oz, but never know. Never know what's possible with God's creations. He's got some funky stuff going on out there. Just this, that, the whole strangeness of all of it, even the human body, isn't it remarkable? Like how everything works together, and it's pretty incredible. So, I hear some noise out in my yard. Somebody's out there. Well, Doug is out there right now, so, but I think it's somebody else. Unless it was him taking off. That could be. He could be going to get those pipes. It might be done today. I'll let you know. Yeah, I know it was hard yesterday. He got that done, but yeah. Like I say, I'm glad I'm quick. It's like I told him, it's just like when you have a little baby and you almost drop it. There's slippery little things sometimes. Luckily, I never did, but, you know, if that pipe had gone back down in the hole, we'd be digging and it'd still be down there. It'd be down there for a long time. We do have giant magnets, but I don't think enough to retrieve any length of pipe that would have, and the ground would be resisting. So it would be pretty hard to get. That would be pretty awful. So, yeah, I'm quick. Freaked me out. It's like, dang, grab that thing. Like, because Doug was wrenching or doing something. I can't remember what he was. Oh, I think he was trying to put the pipe wrench on a coupler, and it started going down, and the weight of the pipes below it and the sand point were pulling it quicker. So it wasn't just like moving slow or anything like that. It's like, dang. Freaked us both out. Then he put another clamp on the pipe, so he had two, one on each side in case, like, if it did fall, the weight of it could just make one go flying off or something. We'd lose the pipe in there. We might have had to just buy everything new and move the well over a few inches or something, and redo the whole thing. Yeah. It is hard work. That's okay. I mean, I'm not complaining about that. It's just like packing water in. And I don't mind any kind of work, actually, even, if it's hard physical work, it doesn't matter. Because I feel like my muscles show exactly how I used them in my youth. It's a reflection of who I am today. And it's really apparent in that area. So I challenge any of you youngsters to be as strong as I am when you get to be my age. That's my challenge for you. Best wishes. You better have started early, but if you didn't, there's no time like the present, you know. And that, once again, isn't being vain, you know. Seriously, if you were told you'll never walk again, and I thought, like hell, I won't. You just watch. I just couldn't believe it. I thought, I kept them words in my head. Physician, heal thyself. That's what Christ taught us, you know. And I thought, I'm not just taking their advice and taking their word for it on who God made me to be and what I know is inside of me that can heal. It's like, no, I'm not listening to some bozo the clown doctor that probably knows less about science than I do, telling me what I'm going to do in the future. If I had just sat there like he had said, I wouldn't even be alive right now. I'd be dead from lack of exercise. I'd be not only a paraplegic, but a real dumb one at that. When people say you can't do that, that something's impossible because you don't pull your spinal cord an inch and a quarter, about an inch and a half, just a little shy of that, and ever walk again. It only takes about a quarter of an inch to when you have your spinal fluid disrupting your body, and you have to battle that with your immune system too. I mean, there's a lot of things going on inside of me. So, like I say, the remarkableness of the human body to repair itself is super incredible. But first, you got to know a little bit about physiology and biology before you can, and the human anatomy, before you can start putting them neuron receptors in your brain to work with the Christ Spirit and your own physical strength and stubbornness, maybe, or I would call it like, yeah, there's another word for that, but just not giving up. So, yeah. So I'm pretty happy about that I've never gave in to. I never believed a lot of doctors because I just saw that they were not as intelligent as they claimed to be. And that just sort of, I use that for my advantage, my determination. That's what it is. Best advice I got from my adopted dad. You can do anything you put your mind to. Or, if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a mind, it doesn't matter. Mind over matter. That's exactly what it is. Most of the time, your mind can control your matter. Like envisioning yourself to walk or envisioning yourself to have strength that in areas maybe you didn't have, you have to believe it's going to be. And then when you're working towards it, gives it another layer of, I can do this, just watch me type of feeling. So, I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching me has been injured pretty bad in a lot of different ways maybe, and how you've healed through those, you know. Do you see it just as fate? Do you see it as your own doing? Do you see your doctor as miracle workers, or do you think there's another level of spiritual um, uh, like spiritual guidance or something inside you that is helping you do these things? That's what I believe. I don't think I would have done it without the help of God. I broke my neck when I was 9 years old. Isn't that crazy? I still feel it. It's still a little crunchy and but my injured places where I've really injured myself, I've built up muscles around them. So even if I've injured my skeletal bones, my ligaments and tendons and muscles, and I even tore all the ligaments in my stomach and around my stomach muscles, every single one of them. I ripped them one time, and I had to wear a brace for 6 months around my torso. That was a trip. That really hurt. It didn't hurt. The broken ribs hurt worse, but that pulling my stomach muscles really hurt too. Getting punched in the stomach hurts. I got punched actually more like just right above my ovary, really hard by a guy. Different things. But anyway, the way we heal is really miraculous, you know. Unbelievably so. Now, some people can just heal their hearts. Yeah. Or I have to wait till God gives them a new heart. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with the old one? I could do like some of the Illuminati do, hey? Let's get some garlic and onion and slice that puppy up and do something righteous with that thing, right? Bad joke. Dark humor. Kind of like you do with the deer when you go hunting. Usually, the heart or um, the loin, those two things are something you might cook right away because it's almost like a treat, you know. I butchered a lot of deer and antelope, elk, all kinds of stuff. Used to butcher a lot of antelope because I got the meat for free. I didn't have to kill anybody. I would just say, like, if I did 3, I'd get to, or 4, I'd keep 1. You know, if I did like 1, I'd keep a part, you know, that, you know. It's really cool. One time I had invited these people out to my house because I had given this woman and her kids, I had given them some sandwiches made out of roast antelope. And they thought it was roast beef. And her husband, who was a pastor of a church, wouldn't eat antelope. This was out in Montana. So I invited him over for a Sunday meal after service, which I wouldn't go to their service because I wasn't of their faith, although I still believed in God, you know, but. And we said grace before we ate. I cooked up 2 roasts because I wanted them to be able to take some home. So I had made roast potatoes, gravy, carrots, you know, all that to go along with it. We sat down, said grace, everybody's enjoying it. And then she told her husband he was eating antelope. And we'll see if you can get the animal before, especially the antelope, but any deer type animal, if you can get them before they run, the sweat glands don't open up on their legs. And if you can get the sweat glands out of there right after it's killed, then that doesn't bleed into the meat and it's less bitter. It's better. You have to take the glands out of the legs right after it's field dress it and get them out of there. But if you can get them before they even run, then the muscles in the animal aren't as tense and you don't have a funky flavor to it, you know. So, yeah, they really enjoyed that. He was freaked out that he was eating antelope, you know. Just said it was done the right way. It was they weren't running, the glands were taken out of them when it was field dressed. You know, all the guts and the glands, and then brought to me, and I was able to skin it and butcher it. And so yeah, he was really surprised. He was introduced to another type of meat that he didn't think he liked because he had had some that wasn't done. When if you don't process something right, it's going to be horrible. Just like I get a kick out of these grass-fed beef. Is that right? Well, the last 9 to 18 months that you have beef, you want to grain feed them, mixture with grass and grain, because it fattens them up. And then you'll have ones that are just like corn fed and they're nothing but fat. It's saturated in it, and that's a bad cut of meat. But you're going to have a grassy tasting piece of meat, and very tough if you have just grass-fed beef, if you don't know how to do it right. And people think, well, because it's a leaner cut of meat. Well, that fat that you're getting in a piece of beef that have been grain finished is healthier for you. And a lot of people don't know that because it's all how our bodies process that food when we get it, and it is the finishing touches on any farm-raised animal. And I learned from the best. I learned from people in the cattle industry, and well, from raising my own too. I know absolutely what I'm talking about. So if you see these grass-fed beef that supposedly it's cheaper, all they do is let it out in the field or feed them hay. It's more expensive to go and buy oats, and not necessarily just corn, but something that's, and it puts more iron and gives more fat. If you have a marbled piece of meat, you're going to have more flavor, and it's actually healthy for your system, healthier than a leaner cut of meat. And I don't care who says what, if somebody is 65 years old and as strong as me, and you eat grass-fed beef, and you can swear by it, and you can prove it by what you look like, then you prove that to me, because I can prove what I'm talking about, you know. So it's the same with like 2% milk. It's horrible for you. The FDA was pushing it on people, and it's the same. And I tried to tell people, you don't give a cat or a dog like 2% milk. It creates more sugar from the carbohydrates that it creates from the lack of fat, because it doesn't go through their system the way it's supposed to go through. So a whole milk or low fat or skim, 1% or whole, either no fat or more fat is better for you than 2%. And a lot of people will gain weight. They've got 2% milk, and they're doing what the so-called professionals tell you to do, that really don't care about the science behind it or the strength that it's going to give your body, you know. Like right now I have 1% and whole in my refrigerator. I'll drink like whole milk. Sometimes I'll drink that earlier in the day if I need like an extra boost, and it's whey protein and fat that my body needs to burn, with less sugar going into my body than, like, say, a sport drink or something like that. And then I'll have a drink of water, and then at night after I eat, if I'm still thirsty or if I need a little more energy, then I'll have a little bit of like 1%, and um, then I'll have less fat to help the protein go through my body at night. It just depends on the amount of fat or carbohydrates that I've had through the day, what I'm going to drink at night. So, yeah, it's a science to everything, you know. But you can't believe these fat little fucking creatures out there telling people how to eat when they're weaker than an infant with diarrhea. I don't know how that came about in my mind, but Yeah. When your baby has diarrhea and you're trying to stop that, they become weakened for whatever the reason, you know. My son got super sick from things that they are injecting in people right now, those types of things. Yeah. And the last set of all that crap I wouldn't let him have because of that reason. So, yeah, that's, I guess, probably why it came to my mind because he was weakened. I went and got him a baby vitamin, liquid vitamins for babies, infants, you know. Well, he wasn't totally an infant. He was about 9 months old, 9 or 10 months old. And the vitamins helped him, and then he was able to start eating again. But for a while, I was pretty scared. He got these freaking shots he was supposed to have and wasn't the same after that. So, you take a healthy baby, inject it with something, and then it starts getting sick, kind of tells you something, you know? Um, I don't know, have any of you, with your children, experienced any adverse effects from any of the things they say that are going to protect you? Just like if you're, um, oh, I think you would have to be probably 56, 60-ish, somewhere in there, if you had the polio vaccine. They came up with this gun type thing, and then they started giving it in liquid form. But we all got branded with this gun thing that made a circle about the size of a quarter, a coin about that big around, about like that, on our arm with a bunch of little dots in it. I don't know if we can see it anymore. I have no clue. But I could feel it. I don't know. Can we? It was right here. I don't know. But yeah, we all lined up for it, and there must have been kindergarten or first grade, elementary school, somewhere, like really little people. And we were all lined up and we were getting shot with this gun thing, full of viruses. Wow. That can cause shingles in people now, older age, you know. Go figure what's that, you know. Mm, yeah. And yet all these things have not been eradicated off the earth, not even in the countries where they supposedly gave us the anti um, sickness for all these things, you know. It's like, oh, that didn't work too good. Polio's back in existence again. So now what? You know, it's just like when they gave me the swine flu shot. Working out on ranches, they're like, well, you work with animals, so we recommend you have this done. And I almost died, you know? Oh, I got so sick. Really, really sick. Deathly sick. And this last go around with all this crap, Doug's cousin David died from it. Yeah. And he was strong. So, yeah. I think some of them things were actually intentionally targeted towards some people. I don't know. Can't prove a thing. Gee, I was going to talk about something pleasant, wasn't I? Just maybe there's just nothing there. No, there is. Oh, yeah. That goofy cat that I brought in with the broken leg, she was climbing up the screen last night. I had my window open because it was a little warm, and 4 times I told her to get on. I finally had to go shut it, and then I had to turn the fan on. I just didn't sleep good. Then Doug opened the door and she ran out, and I told him I'm done with her. He's like, "No, you're not." And he's like, he should have took the $350 and just got her fixed. I said, "I told you I am not having another animal. If she wants to be out there and have kitties, she's having them outside." At least that's what I'm saying today. And I'm trying to tell myself that. Actually, what it really is, I don't want to be tied down because of the abusive nature that things can get to be around here. And if I want to be able to just walk out the door, I want to be able to just, even if I don't have a vehicle, if I get in that type of mood, I don't want to be dependent on anybody. I want to be able to do what I want to do in case I need to do that. And I'm not going to invest in an animal that wasn't my problem to begin with. Somebody else's problems are out in my yard. That's all. The only kitties I've had since my last one that I had for 20 years, 20, almost 21, Bathsheba, the third, um, after Sheeby died, it's like, I'm not getting no more. My dog died, my horse died, my cat died, no more. So, and I've taken care of all kinds of animals that other people didn't want, or oh, which reminds me, my youngest sister wrote, "I love you, sissy," and I wrote back, "I love you too, little sister." Then she, yesterday. So I figured you were watching me, and I do love you too, honey, and you know where I'm coming from. So I mean, and nothing is out of disrespect. It is a battle of the forces of dark and good, and you know that. You know, you do know that. But she sent me a picture of she's got animals, and she had a little possum or opossum um that she sent me pictures of. Cute little thing. So yeah. I seen one walking up our driveway one time, and you usually don't always just see them because I'm not sure. Are they nocturnal? I think they are. And I had seen one in the daytime. It's like raccoon and skunk, and I think the possum is like that too. Kind of a nighttime. And they eat bugs. Like the skunk will eat nests of like wasps and ants and those type of things. So they actually are very beneficial if you have them around in your environment. They eat those types of things. So I don't know about possums, but I know possums have teeth like raccoons, that they could be part carnivore, I believe, and herbivore. So anyway, yeah. I don't know. Possum's one thing I've never raised. I had a squirrel, I had a couple raccoons, baby deer, a pheasant, a robin. Let's see, what else did I have? Snapping turtles, all kinds of turtles. And I used to play with snakes and spiders and I don't know, all kinds. I had all kinds of animals: horses, dogs, cats, calves, pigs, chickens. You know, But then you have to learn about all the animals that you have too. You just can't get them. You have to know what type of habitat they live in and, you know, what they need to survive. Kind of like God with us. He made this habitat. He knows exactly what we need, you know. That's why I figure there's a place with people with the more satanic mindset. They're going to seek their level, and there's a place for them. And they're going to be like they're going to be all together where they're going to be. So, really, what's the argument? The only argument I have is what they're doing if that's inflicting something on somebody else or me personally. And then I'll have an issue with it. Other than that, I really don't care. But, and then, too, if it's an adult teaching somebody younger something that they don't need to hear, you've got a direct enemy out of me for that one, no matter what. Oh, reminds me of a song, She's Come Undone. Good song. The Guess Who. She didn't know what she was headed for, but when she found out what she was headed for, Mama, it was too late. I'll play it later. I'll put it in my community. Good song. So, yeah, and the dark force people, they're like, yeah, they do come undone. They do something shitty, and then when they come undone, when their brains unzipped, then they want to blame everybody else for it, or look at you or I like we did something wrong when we're pointing out, hey, you didn't care, you unzipped your fucking head, and now you're gonna blame me for it? I don't think so. I'm not putting up with it. You play your games with somebody else. It's not happening here. I saw a couple. In fact, I'm going to go over, because I know I don't disappear now, I'm going to go over on my Facebook and read you. Oh, here's something about integrity. Means that what you thought, what you said, and what you did are all the same. That's true. Sure is. Or what I'm going to do. Let's see. Gotta wait for it to pull up a minute here. There was a really good one. If someone is hotter than you are cooler than them. I don't think anybody's hotter than any. I really don't like that terminology. I really don't. It's just like, yes, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. There might be a woman that one man might think is not very good looking, but if she smiles that certain way to her spouse, then she has that beauty only maybe he can see. That's the way it's probably meant to be. I'm pretty sure about that. So I don't look at people like anybody's any more good looking than anybody else. It's just, and the people that want to pretend that they are, you're in your head. Oh, I like this one. Just try to muzzle and inject me, bitches. Somebody with a sword. I used to be jealous of Harry Potter for being able to talk to snakes, but it turns out I've been doing it for years. Oh, quote of the week. God is in control, but he doesn't expect you to lean on a shovel and pray for a hole. Some people don't have to pray for a hole. They've got plenty of their own. And in fact, the one hole in particular is very apparent. Oh, I won't just burn bridges anymore. I'll destroy portals between worlds. You are not allowed near me if you carry toxicity. You've heard it said, those not learning from history are doomed to repeat it. But I tell you, those preventing history from being taught intend to repeat it. I am not against you. I am against the demons that hinder you. Unless you are a demon. No nation is immune from God's judgment. If you live life as if everything is about you, you will be left with just you. No matter how good she looks, somewhere or someone somewhere is tired of her shit. That's probably enough. Oh, maybe not. Evil preaches tolerance until it's dominant, then it tries to silence good. Probably one more. This was a good one. Let me not walk blindly into this world. Let me walk with eyes that are open and with a heart that sees. Yes, let my heart recognize the fragile places in another. Excuse me. And there I will plant kindness, reminding someone who has perhaps forgotten what a beautiful being they are. Written by Darla Evans. Nice. Okay, that's probably enough. Yeah, little Facebook stuff going on. I haven't looked at my memories over there, but sometimes some things are tucked away in there that are pretty cool. Yeah. Want me to look? Let me look. Maybe there's a nugget for the day. Something good. I'm bummed because like it only goes back, oh, I think 12 years, but some of us had like 4 or 5 years on top of that before Facebook changed everything and flushed all our files or whatever they did with our stuff without our permission. Oh, your house is on fire and you can only save yourself in 2 items. What are you grabbing? I wrote, I did. My baby and paperwork. When I was 15, my favorite band was Earth, Wind and Fire. Some of these aren't pulling up. Let's see. Yeah, there are 2 types of people, those who are humble and those who are about to be. I saw that one out there again today. Yeah, I see this. Your battle isn't with Satan, but your battle is with Satan behind them. Well, there's a place for Satan and his very own. And so the people that are, and these are the times we're living in, some of what was written has already been fulfilled, and the other is being fulfilled right now. Just depends on what times you think we're living in. Maturity is working through your trauma and not using it as a never-ending excuse for poor behavior. Ha! Then there's a chicken in the middle of the road. All it says is, I got my reasons. You know, why'd the chicken cross the road? Toxic mothers are just as bad as absent fathers, but you're all not ready for that discussion yet. Y'all jealous of your own friends? I can relate. I can't relate. I pray all my girls succeed. Well, this is probably pretty true. She is so bright and glorious that you cannot look at her face or garments for the splendor of which she shines, for she is terrible with terror or avenging lightning, and gentle with the goodness of the bright sun. And both her terror and her gentleness are incomprehensible to humans, but she is with everyone and in everyone, and so beautiful is her secret that no person can know the sweetness with which she sustains people and spares them in inscrutable mercy. Power is not controlling other people. Power is controlling yourself. Trying to control other people is the first sign that you're entirely out of control. Controlling others is what weak people think power looks like. She's not heartless, as some might think. She's just grown tired of being discarded by those she had been there for. Ha! Vaccinated people act like they died on the cross for our sins. Calm down, Jabez Christ. Yeah, that's probably enough. There was a parrot that said, Alexis, play Freebird. That's a good one. Your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Fyodor Dostoevsky. It sounds like it's Polish or Russian. Fyodor Dostoevsky. I think the B might be silent. No one will ever know the violence it took to become this gentle. One day, many will hang their heads in shame when they realize the evil they defended. Integrity gives you real freedom because you have nothing to fear since you have nothing to hide. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true. If you're not on Facebook, or if you are, you're more than welcome to join me over there. Always something funny, like through the day at least. One funny meme and a whole bunch of informational stuff. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's sort of sad. I see somebody that's, I think probably 10 years my junior, going through stuff like I am, like cleaning up their Facebook friends list, because like when you have people over there, like they'll, especially the ones that friend you and never say a word or anything like that. It's like, well, what good are you? You're not even here. I don't see you. I don't even know you, If they don't make it apparent, like maybe once a year, like a post of somebody's, but I know this one person in particular, and it's happened to more than one person, even myself, so I recognize this. They're going through a really bummed out time in their life and just looking for people to talk to, and nobody's caring. It's like, and I see the struggle. This person in particular paints houses and it has been homeless and still worked and was just looking for people to talk to, and nobody would even address it. It's like, you really don't know the pain you're causing, Just some people, if you just give like one of your friends, they might be struggling, they might even say some mean things, but at least give them one little thumbs up about once a year or something, like a little bit of encouragement, can probably work wonders in a person's life, It's like another person I knew, I won't name names, from Denmark, and was struggling in the same ways. And even with their faith in God, and I didn't give up. It's like, yeah, you're getting a little mean and whatever, but I really can relate. But I know you're in there. I see you. So I'm like not giving up, and then it brings to mind another person that's a poet and really was going through hell, and now she's like freaking laughing, and she's on there more interacting with people, and it's so good to see, going from being like totally bummed out, and she had a head injury too, and she's healing. I mean, it's good to see. So there's a lot of good news going on, along with a lot of sad stuff, but yeah. Well, I'll probably get this uploaded. Um, just saying hello. For some people, I know a lot are like busy on weekends. You have jobs. You got to get ready for the coming week type of thing going on in your lives. Yuck. Oh, I have such a boatload of work to do ahead of me. When my water gets going, it's not even going to be funny. But oh well. It's no different than any other day. It's just a little more um ugh, terrible. So I have dishes in my sink, and I just don't. It just doesn't sit right with me, I could boil water and do them like that, but I've done that before a lot. Even out homeless and shit, I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna wait till my dishwasher's working. And even if I gotta run them through there twice. I mean, some stuff I know I have to do by hand. Like last night, I made um, mushrooms and eggs with cheese on it. Low fat cheese, low sodium. So it was pretty healthy, actually. And then I had some mushrooms, but I took an allergy pill. They're a little hard on me, too. So, but it sounded good, and it was good. So, Doug loved it. He loves mushrooms a lot. I do too, but they are a little rough on me. Well, everybody, I'm going to get this uploaded. I hope the rest of your weekend is wonderful. Um, cheers to you. Cheers to me. Or, like I used to say, yeah, I'm going to say it. Here's to you and here's to me. And if we ever disagree, you, here's to me. I used to say that when I was bartending. I mean, what else you gonna say to some drunk who's acting like a dumbass, you know? Yeah, that one always worked. Or over the lips and through the gums. Look out, stomach, here it comes. That's a good one too. But cheers is pretty good, isn't it? So cheers, everybody. Have a good night or day. Peace, wherever you're at.